Hey everybody, Movie Review Next Door here, and I'm back with another review, and the final review in the Substitute series, with Substitute for Failure is Not an Option. This film is from 2001, directed by Robert Radler, again the director from the third one, and it stars Treat Williams, Angie Everhart, Patrick Kilpatrick, Bill Nunn, Tim Abel, Scott Thomas, Simon Rhee, and Grayson Fickle. In this film, a former mercenary, Treat Williams, joins a military academy as a teacher. He soon discovers a neo-Nazi group codenamed Werewolves formed among the cadets. He also quickly finds they have military leadership among the officers at the academy. So, what do I think of The Substitute for Failure is Not an Option? I think it's my favorite sequel now, because I used to go back and forth on 2 and 4, because I know there are people that say the third is by far my least favorite, even though I still think it's decent. I did really enjoy my time here. I thought it felt like it cost more than the second, for sure, and probably the third. But yeah, like, you got some of the best action of all of the films, even the first. You got Treat Williams, and I think the best shape he's been in all of these, because he's very charming. He's even more charming. He's good in the action sequences and all that, and yeah, all around, I think this is also the most, like, consistent movie. And other than, like, one kind of iffy special effect, I had a lot of fun with this one. But yeah, let me get to the cast. Treat Williams as Carl Thomason. He's great, yet again. I have a hard time deciding who is better in this series, Tom Berenger or Treat Williams. But shit, Treat Williams does such a good job in this role. He does good with the hand-to-hand, he does good with the shooting, he does good with the wit, the humor, all of the mannerisms he needs to get into. You have more scenes of him being intense in this film, which are really nice to see. It's really nice to see that bit of change. Angie Everhart as Jenny. She's a nurse at the military academy she's there to be the love interest, basically. I don't think she does a bad job in this. I think she's decent. The issue comes in where they don't give her a lot of screen time in order to flesh out the relationship between her and Carl. So yeah, that would be my main issue with her. Patrick Kilpatrick is Bragg. He is the main villain of the story, and I think he is easily the most interesting villain of the villains in the second, third, and fourth. I don't know if he beats out the villain of the first. I'm saying villain because I don't want to, like, spoil people. Like, yeah, I think he's very intense. Because this movie is about, like, white supremacists and all that, he's very intense when he needs to be. He doesn't overdo it to the point where it becomes comedy. This movie is not subtle in the slightest, and I will get to that, why that works in the movie's favor, but Patrick Kilpatrick is the perfect casting for this character, and he was great. Bill Nunn as Luther, I really liked him too. He's kind of a groundskeeper that at first you think he's, like, like on the spectrum or something, and that turns out that's a cover. I really liked him here. He's been in quite a few things. He was in Candyman 2. He was in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. He was in Do the Right Thing, Glory, He Got Game, Mo Better Blues. He's been in a ton of things. But yeah, I really liked him here. He worked. But yeah, Tim Abel as Devlin. He did a great job. He was like a friend, an old-timey friend from Treat Williams' character's past, which this series keeps doing that, which I'm okay with it. It's whatever. It doesn't matter. They did that in the Saw series. I didn't care. I don't care here. He's one of those actors that I wish got into bigger things, because I really do like him as an actor. He was in Special Forces with Marshall Teague, and I really wish he became a bigger action star, because he's got the charisma, he's got the look, he looks like an actual like military guy. I don't know why he didn't take off more. I think the most well known thing he was in was We Were Soldiers with starring Mel Gibson. So I wish he was in so much more, but I guess that's just not meant to be. Grayson Frick as Ted Teague. He's the son of he's the nephew of the guy that brings in Treat Williams' character. He's good. Simon Rhee, who was in the Best of the Best films, I think. Or no, Simon Rhee, no. He's like an Asian guy that like fucks people up. He's like the personal hitman of the main villain. And Scott Thomas is Buckner. He's there. He's very over the top and to a fault at many times, especially the scene where he's talking about the Holocaust didn't happen. It's played very, very over the top. But yeah, this film, I know I'm like almost 7 minutes in and I haven't gotten to talking about the movie. Hopefully y'all haven't clicked off yet. But here's the thing with this movie. It is not subtle at all with what it's doing with the main character, with the villains, where it's this drill instructor or colonel, something like that, who's basically using his power, abusing it, and creating his own little, like, army of mercenaries that are basically just neo-Nazis. Or white supremacists, whatever term you want to use. That is a very interesting idea, and I think it's executed here well. I'm glad they didn't get super, like, far up everybody's ass in that way, because I hate it when movies feel the need to just bring in race politics for no fucking reason. Because I'm trying to enjoy an action movie. That's what this is. It's an action thriller. That's what you're here for. You're here for the thrills. You're here for the interesting story. You're here for the action, which is well done here. You're not here to be lectured to about race politics. And this film doesn't do that. Yes, at times it tries to be shocking with what the villain says. He never gets to the point of just throwing out racial expletives or whatever. And I'm kind of glad for that, because that would have gotten a bit distracting. He does say some things that are unintentionally funny at times, but it still works for the character, and you really want to see this character's demise. And I will say, I know, spoiling that he dies, but his demise is very satisfying. I really liked how they handled it. But yeah, this film, it changes up these settings. Like you had in the first film, it was like a school in Los Angeles. The second film, I forgot where it was, but it was, think it was a high school still. And then the third film is a college with the football team and the steroids, which was interesting. I just wish they did a bit more with it. And the fourth film here, we move all the way to a military academy. So, it seems that... Sorry, my camera froze. It seems that they're trying to really one-up themselves with each of these movies, which I'm happy to see. I know there are many people out there, or many critics, who would probably be like, oh, they went that step further. But, like, I like that. I like that they took chances with this series. They weren't... With this film in particular, it doesn't feel like it's just ripping off the first film. Other than the whole, like, being a substitute thing, which is not a big part of this film. There's a couple scenes with him substituting, but it's mostly him investigating the werewolves, or this group of neo-Nazis, which is very interesting to me. And yes, I don't usually like seeing villains just being like generic racists or whatever, but here they're played to such an over-the-top degree that I found some level of fun in it. Not like it's fun that they're Nazis or whatever. More so, I like that it didn't take itself super serious. It was just trying to be, an action movie with villains. And yeah, you really grow to hate these villains, as you would expect. And yeah, I had fun with that. I don't see the huge problem with this. Just recently, I guess a lot of people are doing movie reviews of Treat Williams stuff. That Substitute 4 is now the... Let me see. Yeah, it is now the highest rated Substitute film, and I kind of agree with that. I go back and forth on the first film, because the first film has so many more interesting characters, I guess, that I really got into, because it was 2 hours long, and you could get, like, deeper character growth. I guess I'd still say the first film is my favorite, but if I have to go on sequels, I say this one, because this one just, it realizes what it is, it tries to do something different, and given that this is from the director of my least favorite in the series, I wasn't expecting that this time around, watching these films again. Excuse me. But yeah, like I can think of some, like, highlights of this film. There's a bit where the, Buckner, I think, one of the Wolverines is in Treat William, or Carl Thomason's class, and basically they fight, and he uses, like, a chalk eraser, like a eraser you use for, like, a chalkboard, and basically just, like, hits him in the head and all that, and, like, fights him with it, and that was really entertaining, all because he was being a little shit racist. And it was very, exciting seeing these little shits get what was coming to them. And there's a scene... Well, I think all of the scenes with Treat Williams and Tim Abel, or Abel, whatever, are really well done. I can see a lot of friendly chemistry between them. I think they work together very well. Again, it just makes me mad that Tim Abel never got to be a bigger action star. He's mostly been in, like, Isaac Florentine level action movies, which I do need to watch more of Isaac Florentine's films, because Special Forces was a lot of fun. Trying to think of what else I've seen with him. Ninja. The first Ninja movie with Scott Adkins was a lot of fun for me. But yeah, apparently he's done, like, a lot of really good action movies. But yeah, like, it just makes me mad that all these people aren't, like, bigger stars, And again, Patrick O'Patrick, he has a lot of scenes, which is cool. I'm glad that it wasn't just like, we got this actor for, like, 2 days type of thing, where he has only a couple scenes. No, he's in the film throughout it, and I think that definitely does add something that the third film was 100% missing. And the fact that we know who the villain is going in works for these types of films, I think, more than what the first film, the second film, and even the third film do. Where the third film, you don't even see the villain until the third act. So we're not even introduced to who turns out to be the villain by the third act of Substitute 3, which makes it quite weak of an ending for me. And in Substitute 2, they just take forever telling you that this guy's the villain when you can tell from the first time you see him he's a villain. And the first film, like, I think it works for the first film because of how they were pacing it out. But yeah, in this film, I'm glad you get to know who the villain is from the beginning. You learn to hate him, you learn to resent him, everything he does. And yeah, I like that change of pace, that they didn't feel like they needed to do an obvious twist. Because they know that we're smarter than that, and we can tell. But yeah, like, I can't think of a lot of, like, cons with the film other than, yeah, there are some bits of spotty acting. Shit, I guess I'll get to pros and cons. Pros, the direction by Robert Radler is very good. He has quite a few pretty nice action scenes. There's a scene with Buckner and another guy in a truck like shooting at Treat Williams, and he gets in a like he gets on a loader and like is blocking the rounds with the front of the loader. There's a scene where he's running away from a bunch of explosions going off, which is great. The ending sequences where he's fighting Lim, where he's fighting Lim, are well done. But yeah, the score by... Oh shit, the stunts were done by David Leitch. Oh, that's cool. Stephen Edwards. I've never heard of him before. Oh, he apparently worked on Isaac Florentine films. Close Range, that was a good one. Undisputed 2, Ninja, Boyka Undisputed 4, U.S. Seals 2... Shit. Well, that's cool. Yeah, he did a pretty great job with the score. It was very half like patriotic and like using the overarching theme of "I want to be an airborne ranger," which that was nice. Whenever characters would like sing it to themselves, and then you'd hear it in the score. It was nice, and the like wailing guitars near the third act were really nice too. Again, Treat Williams, Angie Everhart, Patrick Kilpatrick, Bill Nunn, Tim Abel. Just most of the main players in this film are just really good, and it seems like they're taking this seriously. They know what type of movie they're in. They're not like overdoing it so much that it's like laughable. Again, the action is very well done. I think it's the best action in the entire series. Because the second film had some alright action, but I feel like due to the limitations of it being a TV movie, maybe some of the budget wasn't spent on that. It was more spent on the music or the... You know, I feel like the budget for the second one wasn't as high as the fourth, because the fourth had direct-to-video instead of a TV movie. I guess the first one was like a Showtime or HBO TV movie, which some of those are really high budget, but I just don't think it had much of a budget. And for cons, I'd say, again, Angie Everhart doesn't have enough screen time to really establish a relationship between her and Carl. While in the second film, that's definitely something it had a hand up on. Treat Williams, or Carl's relationship with Cara Lavelle, played by Michael Michel, was actually pretty sweet. There are certain scenes... Well... Again, the one special effect, maybe I'll upload a video of it or something, a short of it. It's not the worst special effect I've ever seen. They could have used a model, but it feels like they just overlaid like explosions on an image, kind of like that clip from Absolute Deception that I had before my review. If anybody remembers that I reviewed that movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. But like... Yeah, other than those two things, I really enjoyed this film. I did. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I gave it another chance. Again, rest in peace, Treat Williams. He will be missed, especially by me. I loved him. And yeah, I don't know if I'll go on with more Treat Williams movies for the time being. I will definitely take a look at like Dead Heat at some point, and The Congressman looked interesting. Maybe look out in the future for like a Gina Carano marathon. I was thinking about that. And yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed the review of The Substitute 4, Failure is Not an Option. Very mouthful of a title. And like, subscribe, comment, whatever, and Movie Reviewer Next Door.